All right. So what we're this is the sessions episode 2. I guess we'll just do a little intro here. And the session's really just a time where we hang out. We got 4 of us today. That's a record for our show, having 4 people on at one time. That's kind of crazy. So we have 4 people today. We are watching the NFL playoffs while drinking beer, and that's pretty much what this is about. We're just going to hang out, drink beer, talk about whatever comes to mind. On the show today, we have, of course, Chad up in Green Bay.
Hey, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Beerded Hops.
Does that mean you have a Ferrari? Do you own a Ferrari with that shirt you got on there, kid?
Oh, this right here?
You only get that when you buy a Ferrari, I thought.
Yeah, I got one in my garage.
Yeah, I know. Right, whatever. It's a Matchbox.
The cover's on it right now.
It's a Power Wheels.
But
it's Power Wheels. So yeah, we got Chad over here. Right to my right is Jacob. Hey, Jacob. You're on camera, Jake. You can look straight ahead. Look right into the deep in the eyes of everybody.
I think I'm on mute. I'm on mute. I'm trying to help with the echo here. Thanks for having me, guys. This is exciting.
Welcome to the show, Jake.
And then here we have just a little blob ahead, although it doesn't show up here. Whatever. Eric's there. Hi, say Eric. Nobody can.
How's it going, everybody? Sorry, I can't get my camera going.
It's always technical difficulties. So the first thing we're going to do today, while watching, this is a really good Jaguar Steelers game.
I'm loving it.
Yeah,
I am loving it.
It is good. We beginning of December, Chad, myself, Jake brewed a red ale, and we are going to crack it now and see. Just do a little test to see what it's like. If it's good or not. So that's it.
And I just you guys drink the red ale. I just poured a nice big tall pint of Mobcraft White Russian Stout.
It's got good color. I think this is going to taste well, but we did.
Did you hear that? It sounded good.
It sounded good. We did potentially miss. It was a little cold in the basement where it was fermenting.
Yeah. So one of the problems we kind of had is that this is the first time I've actually done a brew in the wintertime. And so usually, we do it in the summertime. The basement is nice and cool. It can get it to that 65, 75 degrees in that range for the fermentation for the yeast. Well, this winter, it's been cold. And I'm assuming, I think the basement was a little bit colder. So I think the yeast went to sleep. So that's why I think the gravity on this, I think we'd be lucky if this is a 3% alcohol. So we'd have to drink a whole case just to feel a buzz.
I did bring the beer bong though, so later in the show we will proceed to drink the whole case.
This is this is the ultimate session ale right here.
Yeah, why don't you grab Dan?
I'm gonna try and get
Eric. What are you drinking?
I've got a coffee dino s'mores from Off Color Brewing here in Chicago. I actually just picked it up this morning. They had the release. And,
yeah, that was a release. I heard about that release. Yeah, that's you. Did you go down to Off Color to get it?
Yeah. So what I love about Off Color is the way they do the releases is they'll announce that they're having a release on said date, and then they'll also announce a few days before the release date. They'll set out reservations online, and if you get a reservation, you go in within an hour window. And it's an easy in and out, and you can get up to full allotment if you want. Full allotment for this year's crop was 12 bottles. And I picked up 4 myself because that's all I felt I wanted. And here we go.
That's awesome. Now, what kind of beer, what kind of brew is it?
It's an imperial stout with coffee from Dark Matter here in Chicago.
Nice.
They release it once a year. It's a variant of their original Dino S'mores, just stout, and this has coffee infused with it.
Excellent, man. Stouts and porters are my. I mean, as Adam and Jake already know, that's where it's at for me. Just recently, I started liking barley wines a lot, but stouts and porters I love. So I'm interested to get your impression on that.
I'm right there with you. They're my favorite, especially in these cold winters.
You got it. Yeah, as I said, mine is a White Russian stout. It's odd. Last night I was marcoing these guys. I made a White Russian for the first time in a long time, and then I realized that I had bought this Mobcraft White Russian stout a couple of days ago, and I thought it'd be a perfect transition from the White Russian I made last night into the podcast today. Have not taken a sip yet. I'm letting it warm up just a little bit, but I'm looking forward to this one too.
All right, so Dan is going to watch on YouTube, so we're going to give it a couple minutes till he tells me he's there, just because we want to wait and make sure he can watch this live.
All right, and my uncle, he just texted. He has found the YouTube feed. He's out. He's out in the barn, in the man cave, watching us live. So
it's his uncle's house. He's getting outside in the barn with us on the big R screen.
Yeah. So welcome to the show, Uncle Ron.
Hi, Uncle Ron.
All right, I'm taking this first sip of this White Russian Stout. I think it's probably a little.
It looks like Dan is there.
A little chilly yet, but
everybody say hi, Dan.
Hi, Dan.
Hi, Dan.
Hello, Dan.
All right, so here we go.
Jesus.
All right. Everybody's like, what the heck you guys Jesusing? All right, so
especially Eric, he's like, I don't know what the hell that means.
It's a Texas hello.
Ron just Ron says hi to everybody. He actually says howdy, so he can hear us live.
We got some head on this baby. We got a lot of head on this baby.
Ron says hi, Dan.
So
we got an interesting communication going on here.
I'm actually pleasantly surprised. I actually was not expecting to get very much on this.
Oh yeah, look at that.
Yeah, I'm actually pretty happy about that.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, when we were bottling it right away, though, I mean, that's some serious color there. I was very happy with that sort of thick. It almost looks like a brown ale.
Now, if we could just only add a better ABV, I'd be really happy with this. But
yeah, so it didn't calculate out quite where we thought it would.
Our first calculation, we had it at like 25 or something ridiculous. And of course, Dan came in with a bunch of accounting numbers, and we got it down to like 2.
So the first time I did the calculations, you were at my house, I think, right? Yeah, and I'm like, this can't be right. This is 24%. There's no way we did 24%.
I was so excited.
We're so stoked. He almost went like to the fermenter and just started chugging. And then I looked it up on the internet. And I'm like, oh wait, you got to carry the 2. I'm joking. I don't know exactly what it was, but I figured it out, and it came out to be like 2.4%. So I don't know what's right. We'll taste it here in a second once we can get it down. But I actually was afraid we would not have enough. When we put the priming sugar in, we missed.
It was our first brew in the winter. It was cold. We had to chill the prime. It was a mess, but yeah. So, cheers, kids. I'm gonna try this. Here we go. Going in.
This could be the most sessionable red ale ever.
Right, exactly. Not bad.
I think it's delicious.
Oh, really? Awesome.
It's maltier. Yeah, it's not bad.
You can taste the caramel.
I'm not ashamed of it. That's what I was afraid I was going to be completely ashamed of this beer.
That's a win then.
I'm not ashamed of it completely.
That's awesome, man. I can't wait to get down there in a couple weeks to try it then.
Hey, can we untap this? Can you just put in a custom beer and then rate it?
Mm-hmm. I think you can, right, Chad? Somebody I don't know.
I don't know. I've never tried to put in a custom beer before. I think there's I'm sure. I know there's a way to add beers to UnTappd, but I don't know how to do it. Maybe Eric knows.
Can you take the gravity of a beer after it's been carbonated though? But I think once it's carbonated, you're kind of screwed, right? Like, because I don't think the gravometer or whatever it's called would. I don't know. I'll do that later.
I think the test just becomes how many beers until you start feeling drunk.
Well, this is the only one I had in the fridge. We could get our lovely assistant Gina to come get our other bottle if you want.
Hey Jake, can you raise your mic up any?
No, he can't. It's on a tiny little stand.
Oh, because whenever he talks into it, all I can see is the Cubs hat.
Well,
we can't see his pretty face.
Yeah, Adam's making me get my head down here.
That's kind of what it looks like. Where Adam is sitting, and when you talk on the mic, it looks like where your head is going.
grab a couple bottles out of here. They're ready.
I guess I could hold it up. I don't know. No, that doesn't feel right either.
Well, we can at least see your face.
Adam's over there. He's got like a boomstick and everything, or whatever that is.
Boomstick.
So I got some friends I told about this, and they like to make fun of me a little bit when I use UnTappd.
Why?
Because you're a beer nerd.
Well, because they like making fun of me, but I told them that I had rated Coors, and the reason I did that was it was my base beer, and that gave me a reference point. So now every time I'm rating a beer, they just start saying things like, how's your base beer doing? Has your base beer improved? Of course, I asked my other buddy who was already on UnTappd. I'm like, you rated Coors or something like that, right? And he's like, no, I have no base beer. So they're a bunch of a-holes.
A-holes.
Yeah, Chad, I don't know if that's you probably use a full word.
Yeah, I'm not familiar with this term. Eric, I don't have any kids, so I
swear a lot.
When we do Marco Polo, we do this group Marco Polo thing with Jake, Dan, Adam, and I always end up swearing in front of Jake's kids, and then I get cute little messages from his kids, from his little girl, especially.
You should pull up that Marco Polo from Winnie from yesterday. That was the cutest. It was like right when you did, I was like, oh, you just got busted.
I know, it was adorable. I felt so bad.
I'll pull it up.
So Eric, you live in the city, right?
Correct.
So, and you're a big Goose Island guy, right?
Yeah, it stems from before AB bought them out. That was my introduction to craft beer in 2008, 2009 with 312. So I've kind of rode the wave, and it's been fun watching the brewery develop over time. And now that I work with them, it's a completely different relationship.
So wait, what do you do with them?
Yeah, tell us about that.
I am a photographer for a craft beer blog called Porch Drinking.
Porch Drinking, yeah.
We partner with tons of breweries, and Goose Island has us out quite a bit.
I just followed Porch Drinking on Twitter today, and I followed you as well on Twitter today, Eric. So
fantastic.
Yeah,
I knew you were doing something with Porch Drinking. I didn't know what it was exactly. I didn't know if it was photography or writing articles or what.
Yeah, so I'm paired up with one of our Chicago writers. We've got 3 main Chicago writers, and depending on which writer's available for which event or which brewery to cover, I will get a message from one of them. We'll schedule it out, and either it's a festival or we have a series called Inside the Tank, and we will go one-on-one with the brewer of whatever brewery we go to.
That's awesome. That's really cool. Now, so that's a part-time gig, right? Because you're still at Apple.
It's completely unpaid. It's just it's
volunteer. Look at you.
Okay.
Yeah, hobby for us. But there are perks that come along with it.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, there's payments in other ways. I'm sure. Yeah, I was going to say I thought that you were an Apple employee. And
correct.
Okay, so what do you do for Apple then?
I am involved with human resources. I am in charge of scheduling all 300 employees at the Michigan Avenue flagship.
Nice. Very cool. A downtown Chicago office. Jake works downtown too.
Oh, right on.
Yeah, but he has the long arse train ride into the city.
And it's far less interesting. It's not a company name anybody knows. So yeah, we'll just move on. But I do like going down to Chicago. It's a long commute, but it's great working in the city.
Absolutely.
I think Jake, I think you have an interesting job, Jake. What you were telling me a few weeks ago when I was down there, it sounds interesting to me.
He has been lying his ass off to you. Interesting. Whatever. Go ahead.
Well, you got some big responsibilities.
I'm just practicing for the next interview, Chatter. So, I appreciate that. That means I did a good job. But, living so far from Chicago, but still working in Chicago, I feel comfortable telling people I'm from Chicago. If I didn't work down there, I think that would be a little bit of a lie.
Right. A lie. So yeah, the being downtown I mean, I've seen. It's a little easier for you. I get all the information about the releases. Like I knew the one you have today. I knew that was coming, but I was like, I'm not going downtown for it. Like the ones up here, I'll do it if one of my local brew stores like have one of these beers like a couple weeks. I'll definitely grab it. Like I got the Goose Island Bourbon Country, but I guess I'm old. I'm just too old. I can't go downtown anymore.
It's a trek too.
It is. I'm 5 miles from the Wisconsin border. So what's the point?
It's downtown. It's all downtown.
To go. Going downtown. See if that helps there, Jakey. Now we'll see if the camera's a little bit better on Jake.
Now,
trying to get it set up.
Coming back to this red ale, you guys, did you open just one bottle and split it?
We did, because this was just a test. Like my intent was just to test this, and I assumed I need to let it age, and I still will probably let some of it age for another month, for another 2 weeks to get the full month in the bottle. But I didn't know how this would turn out, and so I was just put one in because I was pessimistic about it, to say the least. So. But I just had my wife grab 2 more bottles and put them in the fridge so we could keep going on this, because I'm actually pleasantly surprised.
It's got really good flavor. I can really taste the caramel. And, what else I'll say too is we did a good job filtering it. For sometimes with home brews, you can get a lot of crap floating around in there. And I have just barely a couple specks at the bottom of my glass, nothing else. It's good.
Awesome.
It's good.
Awesome. You guys
this is the flavor. I mean, I was like, I don't know. I'm patting myself on the back because this whole time I'm sitting there fretting, like I'm gonna pour this. It's gonna taste like shit on a stick, but no.
I think it tastes better than anything we had on Friday night. I mean, there was a couple beers that I liked.
Look at you!
I didn't walk away wanting to buy anything.
Wow, we went to Only Child Brewing, and hopefully they're not listening right now. But we went to Only Child Brewing, and.
That's why I didn't say who it was, but
yeah, whatever. If you want to hire me, Only Child, apparently I brew really good red ale. I mean, like 4 of us.
Eric, one more time on the beer you drink. I was gonna look up the brewery. What was it again?
The brewery is Off Color Brewing, and the beer is Coffee Dino S'mores.
Coffee Dino S'mores. Okay, all right. I got the website up, so I just want to look and see what you're enjoying, because that sounds really good.
I also just posted to the Facebook page my pour.
Oh, cool.
You had to put
Awesome.
it on the Facebook page because we can't see him here. That's right. That's not a problem. So yeah, I'm actually, I like Off Color. I've had a couple of their stuff.
That's the one with Apex Predator?
Yeah, Apex Predator.
Correct.
Yeah.
Great beer.
That's kind of like their popular one, I guess I would say, right?
It's definitely one of their flagships. It's brewed year round.
Yeah, it's a good one. When the first beer class we went to was me, Jake, and Dan. And the guy told us we're brewing a Saison. And he's like, it's like Apex Predator. And he had Apex Predator there for us to taste. And that was kind of the first time I'd ever heard of the brewery. And so after that, we went down to a brew store in Libertyville and got a couple cans, or bottles, whatever they had.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, they actually, within the last 6 months, opened up their tap room in Chicago, and it's just a fantastic space.
Yeah, my wife and I have been, we went to Tighthead Brewery in Mundelein, and then we went to Only Child last week also. Jake went with us to Only Child. We are starting to make the rounds of the Lake County breweries there, because we actually have, every time I look it up, we have more and more breweries. There's a couple I didn't even know about opened up in Mundelein, so we're getting a lot of breweries around here.
It's crazy just looking at the staggering numbers. I was looking yesterday, our friends at the Hop Review posted a comprehensive brewery list, and there's 71 breweries within Chicago city limits. And if you're including the burbs, it's 117.
Holy crap. Wow.
It's awesome. So I was just looking at the Facebook page. Darren Rich posted 9 minutes ago from San Luis Obispo, California, happening right now. He's drinking an Einstock Icelandic toasted porter.
That stuff is really good.
Yeah, it looks really good. I've not
There we
had
go.
it.
I see, Jake. That's what Eric's drinking. Yeah, I just looked it on the Facebook page and saw what you're drinking right there. So very nicely done. I like it a lot. It looks good. Ooh, and then Darren's looks really good too. Did you post that we're live on here now, Cadillac?
So I was just, that's why I went to the Facebook page.
I went to the Facebook page. Oh man. So
Because
I hate asking this, Eric. What was the score of the Hawks game? Because I didn't get to see it.
4-0 Red Wings.
All right, well you can go to hell. All right, let's not talk about that anymore. Sorry,
I'm wearing
we'll edit that out.
I'm wearing my sweater too, so I'm bummed that the video feed can't work.
When I went to change, I was like, no. Oh yeah, Red Wing. All right, I'll put a Blackhawk t-shirt on. So and he caught it.
Huge play by the Jags.
That's a huge.
Huge.
He was like called somebody a jag.
Ah.
Wow. Cool. So what's your favorite brewery down there in the city? Is it off color or do you have a favorite? You're trying to remain agnostic?
It's truly hard to choose, and especially as we do all of these visits to different breweries, because I mean, I see some that I haven't even heard of. We recently went to a brewery called Alarmist, and I'd never heard of them until we had it all scheduled up and we went over there, and the guys that were there were incredible, and they had really good New England IPAs, or the hazy IPAs, as most people are familiar with, and that probably the best in the city, in my opinion, that I've had.
Where are they at?
They're up in the neighborhood of Saginaw. It's Peterson and Saginaw, so pretty north and pretty west as far as city limits goes.
Cool. And it was Alarmist?
Correct.
I know I've heard that name. I've seen them on like the Twitters or something like that. So,
but probably my favorite go-to or year-round is probably Off Color. They just do really good stuff.
Yes, I don't know that I had a lot of theirs. You can definitely get them up here. I see them at every beer store.
I'm gonna interrupt and just say Jacksonville just scored.
We know we have the TV on, dude.
Well,
Thank
nobody
you,
said
Chad.
anything. Nobody
Don't
said
you have
anything.
a TV in your office?
Me?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's 2 feet from me. It's like it's in my face.
Oh, but he's on satellite, so it's way delayed.
Yeah. You guys didn't say anything, so back to beer discussion if you want. I just wanted to make sure that everybody was paying attention to the fact that Steelers are getting beat.
Yeah, but I was on a Predator kick for a while. I really liked that beer by them, and great thing is it goes well with breakfast. It has a nice citrus with it. It's a good way to start the day.
Breakfast beer.
Yeah.
On one of the episodes more recently of our podcast, I don't think it's actually out yet, but we did talk about a beer that's being released, and it's specifically a shower beer. And it's specifically for
it's
what country was it? Norway, Sweden,
Sweden or Switzerland. One of the I think it was Sweden.
But in the description of the beer,
This is awesome.
It said it had a soapy. Isn't that how they described it?
Yes, it has soapy flavor, which I think is hilarious. And the beer can also be used as a hair conditioner.
Yes, you can use it as a hair conditioner. Wait a minute. So then, but Chad, I will say this, ironically enough, ever since we did that story, I think you've told me now 2 or 3 times that you had a beer in the shower that day.
Yeah, I did. I had a beer in the shower this morning.
Shower beers are great.
Oh, shower beers are awesome. I should have done one this morning. Real quickly though, right now, Jake and I, because the red ale is not cold, we just poured Revolution, Little Crazy Belgium style pale ale. So that's what we're rocking right now.
Yeah, Adam was telling me recently, he pointed out, and I guess I didn't realize this, but a lot of times I'll try a beer, and the more I drink it, the less I like it. So he asked me, is there any beer that you like all the way through or it gets better? And the only 2 that I could think of at the moment were by Revolution. It was Anti-Hero IPA that I've liked since that released, and my favorite seasonal beer, Fistimus. So I was thinking today, I'm like, that's 2 beers by them I like, so let's pick one up I've never had and bring it over here.
That's interesting to see how people's tastes differ, because typically on the podcast that we've been doing in the beer reviews, our ratings have either stayed the same or gone up for the most part, except for the most recent one we did. It went down. But that's the way I drink. I typically will rate a beer on my own scale. Of course, it doesn't mean anything to anybody else, but on my own scale, I'll have this number in my head to begin with. And then as I drink it, it typically goes up. Jake, you say yours typically goes down. So yeah, it's always interesting to find out where a beer final rating would end up and the way different beers taste to different people. Eric, what do you think about that? Do you have a typical way of rating a beer? Do you ever try to rate it in the beginning and then see where it goes, or you just wait till the end? Or
I definitely try to wait till the end, because I agree that it definitely, my opinion at least, changes as it goes on throughout the beer, and especially with porters and stouts, that as they warm up, the complexities of the flavor profile flourish. I definitely want to wait to rate it, but the beers usually get better for me.
okay.
I just looked, and this is why I love using UnTappd. But I've already had this beer. I didn't even remember that I had this beer.
I remember that can. I think you had a can of that when I was down there in December.
No, that was Fistmas. That was our Christmas one.
I've seen that can before, though.
We had, I had this on April 11th, 2015.
Oh, maybe I've just seen it in the store.
Yeah.
Because it reminds me of Captain Lou Albino from remember the WWF guy?
Yeah, right there. If you're watching on YouTube, you can see. Yeah, I see what you're saying. I gave it a 4, and I don't know why I would have done that. I don't think it's a 4. It's good, but I'm not saying it's a 4.
You should have rated it and then gone back to see what you rated it last time, because now that 4 is going to be in your head.
I know.
There's not much else in there, so yeah.
Right. There's plenty of room to play around in my head. Oh man, let's see.
Eric, do you put every beer you drink on UnTappd?
For the most part, it's definitely good to go back, because there are times where I've forgotten that I've had a beer.
Dan just posted on Facebook, glad the Tall Dog Red Ale is good. Toasting the success with the local IPA. He's drinking a Deep Ellum IPA from Dallas, Texas.
Very nice. Yeah, Tall Dog. Tall Dog's the name of the brewery if I had the money to open one. That's what we would have called it. But
that's the name of the brewery that does not yet exist.
Does not yet exist.
In our hearts.
Well, if I win the lottery, it'll exist.
Yeah.
Nice. Oh, Jacksonville, 3521. That's I think Chad, you're happy about that, right?
I'm very happy about this this game so far. Ooh, that was a big play.
See how far behind he is?
Hey, I live out in the country. I can't get broadband cable here, so I get what I get.
I'm just happy that, Wisconsin's able to get TV.
I'm just really glad that my job pays for my internet, because I've got really good internet, and I'm able to do these podcasts living out in the country. I'm not on like HughesNet or some shit like that.
Thank goodness they're not a sponsor.
And they'll never be now.
And they never will be. Our sponsorship list is really, really small. It's just Chad and me. That's pretty much our sponsors.
Yeah. Self-sponsored podcast thus far. This White Russian stout that I'm drinking, I've got a whole pint. Where'd the feed go? Where did everybody go?
We're right here. I know where you are.
We see you, Chad.
Yeah.
Oh, weird.
Still see you.
Okay. Well, I can't see myself. Oh, okay. Now there it's back. There it's back. So I'm drinking, as I mentioned, this Mobcraft called Dudism White Russian Stout. I'm about a quarter of the way down. This is a pint bottle. It's really good. It doesn't taste anything like a White Russian, but it's got some very nice white chocolate flavors. It's a let me show you the beer here, because it's not stout colored. It's more like a let me get a light on this because it's kind of hard to see.
Your dark room, get the mood light going.
Yeah, it's really kind of a amberish to brown color. So not stouty at all, but it reminds me in color, at least, a little bit darker Casper.
Yeah.
And but it's got very interesting stout characteristics as far as the flavors go. So this is a good one. I really like this. What Mobcraft Dudism.
Mobcraft's interesting. Have you ever been to Mobcraft, Eric?
I've not.
Yeah, we haven't gone either. We keep talking about going because I did vote in their most recent one. So I can't remember which one I voted on though, but whatever.
Touchdown Steelers. This game is still a game.
Yeah, we got a game here.
There's been some good playoff games, man. Except for last night. That was a good one. Yeah, we keep talking about going up there. I love the way they do their stuff is really interesting with the whole
crowdfunded or crowdsourced.
Yeah, crowdsourced recipes and stuff like that. So I have one in my fridge too. I haven't cracked yet. Man, how is that? How there's not a flag on that play? He was like riding him. Look at him. Get along, little doggy. The whole way down the field. Oh man.
Man, I wonder how much of a delay I have because I just saw the touchdown live.
Ooch. See, this game's just making me mad because I want the Steelers to lose. I want a close game. I want the Steelers to lose, but it's also like, how is a team like Jacksonville good now and doing a good game on the road, and our Bears just suck. Like there's a path here to be good again, and we just don't know it in Chicago.
That path does not go through Chicago.
That path does not go through the McCaskies.
That's a better way of saying it. That is true. I love Jake and I've talked about this so many times. I really did, and this season has sucked as a Bears fan because they sucked, but it has been great if you listen to sports radio because the meatheads that call in, it's just hilarious to listen to some of these people. It's just like, and then you hear like Bernstein and Golf on like the score. They just rip into people, and it's absolutely hilarious. It's been great radio.
But it's kind of sad that my most enjoyable thing as a Bears fan now is a Monday after a loss, so I can hear all the meatheads call in to the score and people just rip on them. I mean, I really should be having a higher bar than that, but that's the best part about the week now as a Bears fan.
That's hilarious.
It's so true.
That's hilarious.
So true. It's so funny because I actually didn't get to hear after they hired Nagy. I didn't get to hear, but the leading up to the coach hiring and them talking about, who there's a series of people we should bring back the coach. Come on, that dude's gonna die any day unless he drinks and smokes.
Well, we don't have to spend too much more time on the Bears because that's pointless. But did you see the stuff that Dan Hampton was saying like a week or so ago? He was talking about how George Halas Jr., I forget what they called him, how he died in like 83, 84, and he was going to take over the team. And he was a football guy, but he suddenly died of like a heart attack at like 45. And then that's when it went to like Michael McCaskey in Virginia. And basically what Hampton said was, listen, the older generation, George and Michael, Virginia, whatever, they care about the team, but they just don't know anything about football. They know nothing about football. And then they were going on to say that the younger generations that will inherit this team in another 20, 30 years, they don't care at all. They don't care about winning, and they don't know football. So we'll see what happens.
Well, that gives me a lot to look forward to. Thanks for that, Jake.
The more you know.
Na, 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 na. Oh, man. What were we saying, Chad, before we went on our rant about how bad the Bears are?
Oh, you guys were talking about the Bears. I wasn't paying one bit of attention.
I know you weren't.
Yeah, well, we could just listen to Chad hate on every team because they're not the Packers in the playoffs.
I don't hate on every team. I'm rooting
for every team to lose.
Come on now.
Every team, you don't care about anybody in the playoffs.
No, I do. I want the Saints to win. I said that from the beginning. 2 weeks ago, I said I wanted the Saints to go all the way.
All right, fair enough.
So I am rooting for the Jags today because I don't like the Steelers at all. I mean, this game it doesn't matter to me all that much. The next game is the one I'm really looking forward to. I honestly am rooting for the Saints. I have to stick with the NFC. and I like Drew Brees, even though they beat us at a game. The first time I ever took my dad to a Packers game back in October, we played the Saints. And of course, Rodgers got hurt the week before. My dad comes up to Lambeau for the first time ever. And it was a rainy day, cold. Played the Saints with our backup quarterback Hundley for the first time, and we lose. But that's right. We lost to the Saints. I'm rooting for them to go all the way.
Well, I am curious, Chatter. So we do have a lot of talk around here just because we did redo our whole coaching staff. Is there a lot of talk right now up there in Packerland because didn't they just keep the head coach and that was it, McCarthy?
Yeah.
Or are people just so used to them being in the playoffs they don't even want to talk about it right now?
No, there's a lot of talk about it. I mean, in fact, I do. I just picked up a Google alert for Packers news, and there's a lot of articles out there, a lot of discussion about what's going on. The whole front office is changed. It was, in fact, I think there was a week in there where the Packers front office was pretty much not there. Mike McCarthy was running the show for an entire week after the season ended.
They fired the GM?
Sort of.
Or they gave him a new title where he doesn't really do anything?
Yeah,
Ted Williams style.
Ted Thompson. They repurposed his role. He's going to go into some scouting role, I think. But
I hope I could be. I would like to be repurposed.
we have a new GM
later, Adam. I'll repurpose you later.
A new offensive coordinator, new defensive coordinator. Yeah, big changes up here. Elliot Wolf.
Let's stop him talking about the Packers. Why'd you ask that question, Jake? You dumbass.
I did see that they tried to interview somebody from Seattle for their front office, and the Seahawks totally denied them. They're like, no.
I let you guys talk about the Bears. I gotta let you guys talk about the Bears and uninterrupted for.
I couldn't mute him right now. I really could.
You blacked out, Chad. How would you know what we said?
you blacked out. We saw the drool going down your chin. I listened to you. No, you didn't.
You got drool right on your little emblem there.
And I can't even give you a full minute of Packers talk.
Nope, you cannot. Hey, Eric, I did notice. Was it yesterday?
I'm a half owner of this show. I think I should get some airtime.
Can you mute Chad?
And moving along, Eric. So, was it yesterday you tried all the Bourbon County aged ones?
Yeah, we did a vertical last night. A friend and I did.
So were those ones you bought and aged yourself, or you guys were able to find them, or what'd you do?
What's a vertical?
Vertical being trying the same beer but multiple years in a row. So last night we did Bourbon County Original from 2013 through 2017.
And you would start with 2017 and go to 2013, correct?
We actually did backwards. We went 13 to 17. We ended on the fresh.
Okay.
So what were your? I mean, I know some of them. I saw. I think some of your UnTappd check-ins where you commented, but tell us. For one, I have a whole case of Bourbon County sitting right here, and I have not had one, and it's because I'm waiting for February when Chad comes here, and we're going to actually do a show. You're invited if you'd like to come. We're going to do a show where we're going to try that, and we're also going to do a separate show where we do CBS. So.
Oh, fantastic.
I'm living vicariously through you, and because I've never had one of these Goose Islands, so tell us how did the flavors change over the course of 5 years?
Yeah, over 5 years. It's fun because the longer it's aged, obviously, the less carbonation from the dissolved oxygen, but the body really mellows out, and the flavors kind of blend together in a really good way. So for me, my ranking of it would probably be 14 at the top, because 14 was also just my favorite year for Bourbon County. All the variants were killer that year. The proprietors, the vanilla rye. I mean, it was all just lights out. But that original was incredible yesterday. Having it now almost 4 years later. But 14 was my favorite. Then 13. I'm not sure. I'd have to look at the bottle again. I know 15, they had a recall, and I think the bottle of 15 that we had was one of the recall dates because it just didn't taste how a normal Bourbon County should. So my view on that one is a little bit skewed, but That's okay.
What was that? What was the recall for? What happened?
They had a bacteria within the beer that it wasn't harmful to drinkers. It just changed the profile to where it wasn't the quality tasting that Goose Island wanted it to be. And that's the problem with bourbon barrel aged beers is you've got these barrels that you don't want to clean, because if you clean the barrels, then you lose all of the flavor and the character that you want the beer to pick up, right. And you're susceptible to bacteria that can come up, which is why you need to QA test it. And they've done such a better job with that ever since. I know 2016, they really honed down on their Bourbon County fleet, and they went from 6 variants in 2015 to 4 in 2016 so that they can hone in and gain the trust back of the public that they're going to produce a top-notch product. And that's what they've done.
Eric, how much of each would you sample when you were doing this vertical?
We had just a 2 or 3 ounce pour. I mean, across 5 beers that are all 14+%, I wanted to pace myself.
Did you do anything in between to try to like cleanse the palate a little bit to go fresh, or did it all sort of mix a little bit near the end?
We would have water and bread here and there just to kind of cleanse our palates. And then at the end, once we got through it all, we made our decisions. We actually blended a few. So I was mixing 14 with 16 seeing how that was.
That's interesting.
It was actually really good because, I mean, I got the carbonation and the upfrontness of the fresher 2016 and 2017, and I got more of the mellowed blended flavors of the 14. It was actually a really damn good beer.
Wow.
So just gave them more depth when you blended them?
Exactly.
That's really cool. I would have never thought of that.
Well, Chad and I went in together and bought this case because the shit ain't cheap. And so we are going to age. They're going to hang on to some bottles and age them because that's what I want to do too, is, you know, try to grab them when they come out, and, you know, when we get down the road, do a vertical like that, because that sounds really fun. When I saw you were doing that, I was like, oh, that's really, really cool that you're able to do that. So which one was your favorite?
My favorite was 14.
Was the 14?
Yeah. It's become a lot like a fun hobby. 2 years ago, I picked up a wine fridge really cheap on Amazon, and it holds 40 beer bottles. So I've got quite a few Bourbon Counties in there that I'm aging throughout time and just keeping them at normal cellar temperatures so that they stay fresh.
That was going to be my question, like how you did it. So what is the temperature you kept it at?
55 degrees.
All right. You have to kick Gina's wines out of the wine fridge.
Adam, I think we had a curse word in there, so I'm gonna have to call you out on that.
Chad earmuffs.
Hold on, is that what we gotta do now?
Chad earmuffs.
You did that so good. I'm assuming yours.
Yeah.
I need to unmute myself. I assume there's coaching involved, right?
A little bit, but she's eager to take on some acting roles, so not much.
I'm just waiting for one time you Marco Polo and she swears right back at Chad.
Shh, quiet.
You know what'll happen. Chad, shut your whore mouth. You know what's gonna happen.
Chad, go. Never mind.
Come on, don't do it. You know what? It's if my mom asked me why did Jake say the F word, Mom, he's a heathen. You can say it all you want. I don't want to get the phone call from my mommy.
I asked what the rules were. I heard no F-bomb, so I'll let somebody else break that.
And look at you, Eric. That's what he's doing.
We'll see how many beers we have.
Yes. So how your beer's going down, fellas?
Got any ratings out there?
My Mobcraft, I'm drinking it slow, but I'm only drinking it slow because I want it to warm up a little bit. I had it in my refrigerator. It's supposed to be served. The bottle's actually really cool. The bottle has a number on it, so each bottle's individually numbered.
Maybe we should try that Mobcraft in my fridge.
But this one is to be served at 55 to 60 degrees Fahrenheit. So I think I'm still a little colder than 60 at this point just by feeling the glass. So I'm drinking it slow, but this one, I really, really like this one.
I'll tell you though, Chatter, not that it's beer, but last night when you were sending that Marco Polo, that White Russian, it's really making me want one.
Oh man, I haven't had one.
You can have one today. That's what you're gonna do.
I probably haven't had one in
like a good White Russian.
I bet I haven't had one in 2 or 3 years. And then Brittany went and made a hot chocolate with some Kahlua last night, and it was late. And I'm like, oh, end of the night drink, White Russian. That sounds delicious. And I made a good one. I had some half and half, and so it's a little sweeter than just using milk. It was so good.
So the Jags did score again. They're up by 2 touchdowns. We got 4 minutes left.
Yeah.
And Big Ben sitting here just launching bombs.
Eric, are you just a beer guy, or you do any booze, or?
Oh, I definitely do the booze. I love bourbon.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Good. I just
Do
picked up.
you like locals, or do you like what's your favorite?
Currently probably Angels Envy. I go to the Kentucky Derby every year with a handful of friends, and we get down there early in the week so that we can do a different part of the Bourbon Trail while we're down there, because why not? And Angels Envy last year really surprised me.
That's cool. I may go to the Kentucky Derby this year.
What's the Bourbon Trail?
Just all of the different bourbon distilleries that are throughout Kentucky. They've created a consumer trail so you can go throughout and tour each one of them.
Very cool.
That sounds nice.
I just picked up some Door County Distillery bourbon a couple weeks ago. The Door County Distillery, obviously up in Door County, Wisconsin. Really, really cool place. Jake is familiar with it. And they've got bourbon, whiskey, gin, vodkas, 2 or 3 different types of vodkas, brandy. Brandy's my favorite booze. But I stopped there a couple weeks ago, actually, on New Year's weekend, and picked up some Door County bourbon. It's good shit. I like it.
Chad, was that your first time stopping there?
No, I've been there. I think we went twice in 2017 and once in 2016 to the distillery. So I typically buy their brandy. I've had the whiskey. This is the first time I bought the bourbon, and everything I've had there. I'm not a gin guy, but even the gins were pretty good. I know, Jake, you're a gin guy, so.
No, I like Hendrix. That's the only gin I'm drinking right now. But I love that distillery. I've been going there. I've been going to Door County. And I really like their single malt whiskey. That's my favorite.
That's the last one I had. Yep.
The bourbon's great. The bourbon actually was what I was drinking because my father-in-law has a place up there, and he'll bring back, he's in some sort of club with them or something. They go on Thursdays up there and they get these awesome deals. So for Christmas, we were just drinking the bourbon. And he had like 3 or 4 bottles that he got for the price of 2 or whatever it was. So great stuff, but good place. Yeah, they've won some awards for gin. I've tried their gin. I don't know. It's not for me, but once you get used to Hendrix, it's kind of hard to try other gins that have a lot more of that sort of evergreeny taste.
Yeah.
I'm not a gin guy, so I don't really enjoy the flavor of it, but I think they won some awards for their vodkas too. It's it's only 45 minutes for me, so I probably have been there more times than I can remember it, but I know we went there twice last year, once in 2016, and then over the New Year's weekend. So great stop.
Yeah. Well, we're going to meet up there this summer.
Yeah.
It'll be fun.
Yes.
Meet in Door County. We won't spend the whole weekend at the distillery, I don't think, but that probably be a nice long stop. There's 2 breweries in Door County.
Yeah.
2 breweries.
What's the other brewery besides Door County Brewery?
Shipwrecked.
Right.
It burned down though. They're rebuilding.
Yes,
It'll be open late spring 2018. So if we go up there after they're open in their new facility, that'd be a pretty sweet stop. So yeah, Shipwrecked is in Egg Harbor, and then Door County Brewing is over on the other side of Bailey's Harbor. Yeah,
I drove by Shipwreck right after that fire, and it was bad. It was bad. But I have not been there, Chatter. I've just been to Door County. But yeah, we go up there, hit a distillery, hit the 2 breweries, and then take the ladies to some wineries. Oh yeah, there's 8 wineries in Door County. They're all awesome.
I love going up there.
So if Door County Tourism wants to give us a call, we've just promoted the shit out of
Plug you like great. Well, you were up there for New Year's, right, Chad? I heard it was, but you were sending us a video that was nasty. But I heard they dropped like a giant cherry in Sister Bay and stuff. And
Yeah. They did their version of the New York City ball drop, but they dropped a cherry.
Does it pop at the bottom? I don't know.
I didn't see it pop. We did not go. We didn't go back. We didn't go back out. That was at Husby's, the awesome bar up in Sister Bay. It was so cold. I think the wind chill was minus 21 or something like that. Actual air temp was like minus 8. We went out, watched fireworks at 8:30 in Sister Bay, and we're like 3 hours until, 3.5 hours till the cherry drops. Let's go back to the hotel, just chill out for a little bit. And it got way too cold to go back out. So we watched it on TV. It was pretty cool. I mean,
plus snow in Wisconsin is probably like musket season or something. So you had to be careful out there.
Yeah. Well, probably not so much in Door County, but over on my side where I live.
They hunt in Door County.
Definitely.
Watch out there.
My goodness. So now I know the three of us, I know we've been to breweries. Eric, do you do many brewery tours?
Oh yeah.
What's your favorite, you think?
Probably Revolution's production facility. It was
Gotta go.
I'll go there.
It was awesome. Those guys over there are killer. They provide a really good tour. It's a lot larger than you'd think, especially given that tap room size. But it's a really good tour.
They say how many barrels they're putting out?
They haven't said how many barrels, and they wouldn't give us a specific number. But what's fun about their barrel program is once they're done with the barrels, they sell them. So people in the public, if they want random Revolution used Woodford barrels, you can buy them for like $50.
Yeah,
That's
awesome. Just up here.
Good one.
That was a nice one. Yeah. Tighthead actually just did that. They sold a whole bunch of their bourbon barrels.
That's really cool.
I didn't jump on it. You had to act pretty fast. I didn't have that many. They're only selling for $25. So that's pretty cool that they get rid of them.
Eric, do you just cover? Adam, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No.
Was there more to your thought?
No. I cut you off with the Packers. As long as you don't put that nasty ass name in your mouth, we'll be fine. Go ahead.
Okay. So regarding the Packers front office,
and kick him from the game.
No, Eric, I was curious. Do you, with the porch drinking, do you cover just Chicago area beers and breweries, or do you? What was that?
I think my landlord's working above me, which is lovely.
Somebody was puking.
I know somebody's puking, or I don't know, man. He's killing a cat.
Oh my god.
We definitely do cover Chicago, the three writers and I, but we're a national blog. We've got hubs.
That's awesome.
Bless you.
Thanks. We've got hubs in Atlanta, in Colorado, and California are the main three, including Chicago. But as far as my photography goes, or my participation with the blog, it's primarily Chicagoland and the suburbs.
Okay.
Are the writers voluntary too?
Correct. Yep.
All voluntary.
Yep, all voluntary. It all started. In fact, the writer that got me into it, I worked with at Apple. He's a journalist now, but he went to school for journalism. These four guys split up throughout the nation and found themselves in various now big craft beer hubs. And they randomly started a group thread, and they're like, "Hey, we did journalism at college, and would you guys want to start writing about beer?" And we've picked up some traction over the last 4 or 5 years now.
That's really cool.
That's what we need. We need to get more action on our blog.
Traction.
We need more action.
More action, more traction.
So to get invited back, do I have to get a hat like the cool kids here?
Well, yeah, I love this hat, and I will be ordering a new one because this one's getting musty and old, but it's my favorite hat.
Yeah, it's had it 3 days.
Hillsborough hops.
The hats that we have, actually, it was kind of funny because this podcast kind of originated from,
It's true.
essentially from these hats. Adam found this hat. It's Hillsboro Hops is a minor league baseball team out in Hillsboro, Oregon. And he showed me the hat, and I'm like, that's freaking cool.
He didn't say.
And I see, I censored myself right there.
You did yourself there. I'm just saying when we talk.
And he got it, and then I ordered one. Mine's a little bit different. I've got some white on the back half of it, but the podcast discussion started after we ordered these hats. So we've kind of unofficially both. I mean, we never discussed it. Let's always wear the Hops hat while we do the podcast. But I think in each one we've done that so far, whether it's a sessions episode or a regular podcast.
Well, I always wear this hat anyway. But
yeah, you do. Every time you Marco Polo me and you're out driving around, you're always wearing it too.
Yeah, I like it. Hillsboro Hops. I don't know if they're any good or not, but they got a cool logo.
Yeah, the logo on the hat, that was the inspiration for the Beerded Hops logo that I kind of designed, and then Adam's daughter took it and digitized it and made it really cool. So I used some of my art skills from my art degree in college that I have.
Which, when he told me that, I was like, wait a minute, what? You have an art degree? I didn't know that.
I do. I have a Bachelor of Science degree in art.
I've known him for 20 years and I had no clue he had an art degree.
So yeah, I drew the logo for the Beerded Hops podcast based on the Hillsboro Hops logo, and then Adam's daughter took it and did her magic to it and made it look really, really cool. The first version I did of the of the drawing, I don't remember what you said, Adam, about it, but it was something terrible. I had to redo it. It was, the first version was really bad.
Did you ask me something? I took my headphones off for a second.
No, it was just dead air. We're just watching you take your headphones off.
It was beautiful.
Well,
how many live sessions have you guys done? Is this the second?
Well, this is the second one that we actually told people about. Yeah. Every time we record, it's technically live on YouTube, but nobody knows about it because we don't give them the link.
Yeah, if you know how to find it, you could find all of our pre-show planning and post-show drivel.
Because we use this all the time, and then I download the video and rip out the audio, and then edit the audio, and then post it. So that's how we usually do it. But now we want to start doing a little bit more video because it's more funner. So, yeah.
Was it an F-bomb?
I didn't say an F-bomb.
Oh, I thought I heard an F-bomb.
No. Really? Look at this.
But,
look at him. He wants F-bombs.
Go ahead, fucker.
There you go.
All right, there it is.
There it is. The ice has been broken.
All right, here we go. Hold on a second.
Got to get Winnie here.
Let me cue it up.
It's going to take you a little bit to find it.
And we are at a beer.
I know. We're also at an hour, so we're about to end this.
Eric, have you done other podcasts?
No, it's my first one.
Sweet.
Pop the cherry.
Woo! Thanks for having me on.
Well, we've I think I.
There you go.
We just got to get that like a button. Just a button you can hit.
Need to get
Jake,
that on the. Yeah.
Jake, you need to have that ready a little fucking quicker next time.
Oh shit.
Well, I think I could record that audio and put it in post. There we go.
Okay.
Well, anyway, what I was saying was, from what we've seen, Eric, I've never met you in person, but from what I've seen by friending you on Facebook and Twitter and all that stuff, and seeing you post on the Beerded Hops podcast page, you are quite the connoisseur in the beer industry. So it's really cool to have you on. I think it's nice. I think it's cool to have somebody that's because Adam and I are still kind of, we're learning as we go here, in this, as we're doing this podcast, we're learning how to taste better. We're planning on doing the Cicerone certification, and But you've been around for a while and doing what you do and getting some feedback from you on the page has been really cool. So I'm glad you joined us today.
No, thanks for having me. It's been a lot of fun. Craft beer is such an amazing thing, and it's great to just dive deep into it. There's so much to it, and it's just getting bigger and bigger as we go on.
Yeah, then maybe we can actually get you on a real episode, not just a session, but one of our actual episodes where we actually all three can get the same beer.
That'd be great.
And Jake, it's been okay having you here.
I was just say all three. All right, so I'm going to see myself out. Fuck you guys.
Now, Jake lives across the street from me, so I pretty much at least a weekly basis moon him from my bedroom.
So my Uncle Ron is still watching.
He went to the mic to talk and was like, I can't say shit about that. So
whoever just had a really nice burp, Ron says that one had tone.
Thank you. See, my one yesterday, he said didn't have tone.
Yeah, you had no tone yesterday.
I'm glad that one. I'm glad that one tickled your pickle, Ron.
Pickle action.
Ron hanging out in the bar and get his tickled by some burps. That's weird. It's really weird. I don't know if he could pay me enough to be the cameraman right there freezing his asshole. Wow,
subtle.
That
Cheddar, how far did you get into that? Did you finish that?
No, I'm halfway. Well, a little past halfway because I'm using the sexy glass.
Because it's got hips, and these hips don't lie. That's why.
Exactly. I know. Shakira was right.
Have you? I don't know. Is that episode about the other glass out there? No, it's not this week.
Yeah, it'll be out. It'll be out this week.
Yeah, the episode on Tuesday we talk about the IPA glass, and if you know what an IPA glass looks like, Chad described it to me because I didn't know what it was. He described it to me as a glass with a ribbed dildo on it.
Yeah, because it's
this week's episode.
Can't wait to tune in.
It's the IPA glass. It's ribbed for your pleasure. That's right.
That's what it looked like. I took it out of the box, and that's the first thing I thought of.
And he was trying to find the switch to turn it on so it would vibrate, but couldn't find that. Yeah, so I don't know. We were kind of talking about the different glasses, and some people will be extremely particular about the glass you use with the with whatever it is you're drinking. And I said, especially since we have an IPA glass that looks like it has a dildo on it. Are we going a little bit too far here? We're making people get dildo glasses for beer. I mean, does it make that big a difference? Anybody know? Anybody with any credibility? Which is really none of us. But
I just started tasting out of specific glasses for specific beers, so I'm way too new at that to make any sort of comment. I don't know. Eric, do you have any experience with different beers and different glasses, and does it make a difference?
I for the most part do stouts and snifters, but I've had stouts in pint glasses and I can't tell a difference. So I mean,
I understand.
I think it's preference.
Yeah, the snifter is supposed to move the aroma nose, if you will. Don't smile at me like that. I see you. Move the nose of the glass so that you get a better smell of it. But as far as tasting,
yeah,
right.
I mean, the shape of the glass, obviously, if it's narrow at the top, is going to concentrate the aroma so that you get that when you drink it. So if it's a beer that has I almost used the word that I don't like, big.
So am I supposed to waft my beer before I drink it?
yes, waft.
Well, maybe not wafting, but
Waft away.
There are some people I've seen who will actually take the beer and like spin it like they do with wine, basically aerate it, right?
I'll do that with stouts. Well, barrel aged stouts. It lets the complexities come through.
The barrel aged stouts, what I found is, let them warm up. Like there's the which one is it? Snowdrift, right? Snowdrift vanilla porter, and when I first got it, and then crack it and just start drinking it, I'm like, okay, where's the vanilla? I think I even told Chad, I was like, Chad, where's the vanilla? I don't taste it at all. But as you let it warm up, and sit there, the vanilla hits you.
It makes a big difference. I've noticed. In fact, today I had a blueberry maple stout from Saugatuck Brewing, Saugatuck in Michigan. I poured it and I let it sit for probably a good 45 minutes to let it warm up a little bit before I drank it. I sipped it cold and then drank it after it had warmed up, and there was a huge difference in flavor. So I mean,
even for the one I'm drinking right now, I'm getting, as it's warmed up, I'm getting much more marshmallow and vanilla flavors than I was in the beginning when I was getting just upfront coffee.
Yeah, this White Russian stout that I'm drinking, the white chocolate is totally coming out at the bottom of this glass. I didn't taste it at all to begin with. It was, I don't even know what the flavor was at the beginning. It was just a little too chilly, but as it warms up, this white chocolate flavor it's totally come out in this beer. It's delicious.
Sounds
so
amazing.
You guys are making me feel like a novice here. So when you go through this warming period, is this like 10 minutes, 20 minutes? Are you waiting for room temperature? Like, how do you sort of gauge?
Really just letting it sit. Like you pour the beer, take a couple sips, and then kind of just let it sit. And
Jake, I'll text you right now a screenshot of some recommended temperatures for different beers. That doesn't cover all of them.
Move your phone. We had
Sorry, I got a little too excited, Chad.
Beer exploded.
I think I'm warming my beer here.
If you can see right there on the screen.
Okay, he brought me this beer. This was not. It's still moving, Adam. We need something.
Okay, hang on, I'll be right back.
Okay, Chatter, what are you gonna send me?
I don't have any idea what's happening right now, but
so we got some more of the red ale here, and Adam handed me this. I open it up, and it just starts blowing its foam everywhere. Just a little excitement here.
A little happy ending for the red ale.
Yeah.
So I just sent you a picture of some suggested temperatures for different types of beers. So, the lighter beer, mass market, light lagers, 35 to 40 degrees, German Pilsners, Hellas, wheat beers, Kolsch's in the 40 to 45 range, APAs, American Pale Ales, porters, most stouts between 45 and 50 degrees, Belgian ales, sour ales, which I just had an amazing sour yesterday. I mean, I should have rated it higher than I did, but I need to have it again. That's from Oso. It's called Infusion, I think. Anyway, yeah, there's a temperature range here to take a look at. I just texted you the picture of it.
But how serious are you guys saying this? Are you guessing, or are you really?
No, it really is a guess, and like to see, especially with the porters and stouts, which you don't drink anyway. But
you need to.
I'm coming along on the stouts. I'm just not as old as you guys. I'm still aging into my palate there.
Eric, how old are you?
I'll be 30 in May, so 29 currently.
Okay, but he's like a professional compared to us, so screw you guys. That's not a fair comparison.
We're all closer. I don't know. Jake, how old are you?
I am 34.
Yeah, so Adam and I are 40-ish. And I think the 40. Wait, I'm 40.
Yes,
Adam's 40.
Yes, Jake, shut up. Jeez.
I'm 30-ish.
I had a point and I just forgot it.
Sorry. So this red ale.
Yeah, never mind. Moving on.
I was so worried about not being carbonated enough. He popped open the bottle and it exploded all over the table. Yeah, like
I think there was sabotage. I think there was foul play.
Well, okay, so but why did it do that? Was it disturbed or?
Well, in Jake's presence, pretty much everything is disturbed.
True story.
I don't know. I don't know. I mean, look, there's a lot of I poured that a while ago. There's still a lot of head. There's plenty of head on his too. So, it's undercarbonation is not an issue. These are carbonated. These are carbonated pretty well.
There. We got enough in there.
My guess is, while it was fermenting, it got too cold down there, so the yeast kind of went dormant. Then when we bottled it, I brought it upstairs, where it's at a nice even temperature consistently. The yeast woke back up, and so that would be my guess. So I think we could have a little bit higher gravity, not a whole lot. I don't think it was enough to get that much out of it, but
it could be a little higher. I do want to know when and what are we going to be brewing again?
So Chad is coming back the first weekend in February. Is that right?
Yeah, Super Bowl weekend.
Is it Super Bowl weekend? Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
So Chad's
I'm trying to make a plan. I'm trying to figure out how Brittany and I can both come down there, because she absolutely has to work on Monday. Her time off this year is scheduled complete. She's no extra time off. I can work from anywhere, so I don't really need to take time off. But I'm trying to figure out how I can come down and stay the entire weekend and watch the Super Bowl at your place while Brittany comes back home. So yes, it is Super Bowl weekend. I would love to brew that weekend and stay probably till Monday. Yeah.
So that weekend we have at least 2 podcasts to shoot that weekend.
At least 2, probably 3.
Probably 3. And then we could brew. Eric, if you want to join us, you're more than welcome to join.
Yeah, I was just going to say, Eric,
plenty of room, so you can stay if you want and join us for a weekend of podcasting and brewing beer.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Fantastic. That'd be great.
But yeah, we I don't know what we're gonna brew. Do we have to decide now? Can we wait?
I was just wondering if we had any ideas.
Not really. No idea.
Sounds about right.
I mean, I've never done a stout.
I was just going to say, how difficult is a stout or a porter?
But the only problem is, by the time it's ready to drink, it's going to be getting in the springtime.
It does not matter, dude. I drink stouts and porters all summer long.
But it might matter to me.
I'm right there with you, Chad.
Everybody, there's a lot of conversation out there about when to drink certain beers. And right now, honestly, I just went through a 6-pack of the Commuter, which is a Kolsch from One Barrel Brewing in Madison. A Kolsch is typically a summer beer, but I don't care. I drank the whole 6-pack in the last 4 or 5 days. It was delicious. And I'll drink a stout in the summertime.
Yeah, I mean, we could definitely do a stout, do a vanilla or something like that. I'll have to look up some recipes and see. I mean, we could definitely do it. So, but we'll see. Once we get closer, we got time. Chad's going to be traveling for 2 weeks, so we got time.
Yeah, I'll be away.
Boo!
You guys aren't gonna get away from me on Marco Polo.
I think Chad's stroking out.
Again.
You're not going to get away from me on Marco Polo just because I'm traveling. But yeah, next 2 weeks, I got to go try to make some money. Try.
Giggity. Jake, you going to be on the podcast with me for 2 weeks?
Yeah. We might need to figure something out, though, so we can do it without the echo.
Yeah, you go the other room.
There is a
right.
Yeah, there is.
Exactly.
I think it's just the proximity of the mics between you two. There is a little bit of echo. It's not bad, and there's been a little bit of crackling in the background, but you know what? It's not bad.
It could work to where I sit like on that side. You know what I mean? You're on this side, because the back of the mic really shouldn't pick anything up. Unmute. See, that mic's different than mine. So
touch the mic, Adam. The mic.
I'm glad we have mic on.
Yeah, I mean, this worked pretty well. We did a lot of muting, so I think that helps.
We have been muting off and on. So,
but we miss some of the laughs.
Oh man,
sorry. I was just watching this game here. Pittsburgh just about missed their extra point. There's 1 second to go. They're down by 3.
I think they're not going to pull this out.
So wait, what's happening here?
That's what you said.
Well, I mean, Pittsburgh's going to have to kick off here in just a minute with 1 second to go. So Jacksonville's just going to run out the clock unless there's a flag.
But I mean, what chance does Pittsburgh even have to recover the
Nothing
onside and somehow
as soon as it's touched,
The only way to do it would be an onside kick with a recovery and run for a touchdown.
And a run for a touchdown. Yeah. Well,
Here we go, kids.
it.
Here we go. That was an
Yeah.
onside kick, dumbass.
So they
One
just gave
second.
up. I mean, there's just nothing.
That's it.
One.
Game
Well,
done, kids.
that's impressive. Pittsburgh
Eric,
losing at home.
oh my God, look how empty that stadium is. You guys are way ahead of me. I just saw the everybody's
It is
left.
very empty. Is that in Pittsburgh?
Yeah.
That's a cool stadium in there.
Heinz Field, right on the river. Eric, are you a big football fan? You know, I know you mentioned hockey. You like the Red Wings, but are you a big football fan?
I am, and I am in the camp with Adam and Jake over there with the Bears, unfortunately.
Well, I mean, I kind of figured that, but
Yeah.
not everybody can be winners.
Chad. If we hang in there long enough, I mean, with the Cubs, it paid off. So, well, it sucks now. It'll make it that much better.
Are you a Cubs fan too, Eric? Or no?
Sox fan.
God bless it.
Hey, that's fine. I like Han. I like what
I-
Han's
it
doing
was-
down in the South Side.
I'm just caught off guard because he's not the redneck I typically see being Sox fan. So
He's
That's fair.
he's not the guy that we would hear on the score.
right, not the white trash wife beater run out and stab the first base.
I mean, at least if the Bears are good, we can keep cheering for Rodgers to get hurt again. So we got that.
I will always cheer for Rodgers to get hurt.
Hey,
Always.
hey, you guys watch your mouth.
Hey, since I brought up Rodgers, did you guys see he's getting pretty hot and heavy with his new girlfriend,
Yeah, Danica Patrick.
Danica Patrick? They were doing the whole fly down and meet my parents during Christmas.
Yeah, but his
So-
family hates him.
There's
Right.
There-
She had nobody to meet on his side.
so Aaron's favorite restaurant is called Chives. It's just down the road from me. And apparently,
Sure it is.
the first time these two were spotted together was at Chives, which, like, Brittany and I go there fairly frequently. I've never seen Aaron there, but they were spotted right nearby.
Do you think Danica drives when they go out? I mean, not that there's anything wrong with that. I mean, he's probably right. Like he's driving. She's probably like, "Give me the. We got to switch. You drive slow."
You know what?
He drives like a woman. Let me drive.
You know what, Jakey? If I was dating Danica Patrick, I would let her drive every single time.
She probably drives, probably on top. Yeah, but hey, America.
I don't have a problem with that either.
Oh man, she's quitting, right?
She's gonna drive the Daytona 500 this year and the Indy 500, and then she's done.
Wow.
Wonder if Aaron made her do that.
No, I think she's just not a good driver. So
No,
It's
no,
just
that's not it. She's just not good.
it's just time for her to call it quits and just pose in bikinis and be happy.
Did that ever inspire like a generation of? I mean, I don't watch professional driving. Like a generation of female drivers. I haven't heard of another one.
No,
I don't know how we got.
Not that I'm
here.
aware of. I mean, I'm not sure how you're going to hear when you don't.
Adam, do
watch.
some research on that.
There were a couple of Indy 500 female Indy 500 drivers. In the past, Sarah Fisher was one. She's actually got a really cool go-kart track in Indianapolis that Brittany and I did back in August. So on my 40th birthday, Brittany got me a track day in a Ferrari 488, which is why I'm wearing that's not why I'm wearing the jacket today, but I mean, yeah.
Will you wear the jacket on your business trip and tell people you have?
What?
Will you wear that on your business trip, the jacket?
And tell people I have a Ferrari?
Well, not tell them, but just let them, sort of come to their own.
Well, they'll probably
conclusion.
ask the question, how much do we pay you again?
Yeah. So I got, hold on.
What's he going to get?
Keys? What's he doing?
A hat?
That's Seinfeld that did that. There it is.
What's he got?
There's
Yeah,
the
I heard
hat.
that. So I got the hat too. So
I was right. Adam, you owe me $5.
Eric named him.
Whoa.
Look at
So,
that.
yeah. Oh, you know what? I actually have Ferrari shoes in the closet right here.
Oh my gosh. Underwear? Thong? Got some- oh, okay. Did it make you go fast?
No, I'm just waiting for the comments. You guys are.
Do the shoes make you go fast? Are they Ferrari red?
Yes, they're Ferrari red.
Of course they are. Who makes them? Adidas?
Puma.
Puma. Should have known.
Want me to get them?
No.
I want to see them. I want to see them.
You do?
Come on, why not?
All right, get
Come on,
him.
let's see them. Let's see them.
All right, hold on.
Well, who's not his underwear?
Goes the Ferrari thong next.
It's just a whale tail.
Ferrari
Ferrari
thong?
whale tail. Ferrari whale tail on the back for better down
I got one.
force and the turns. This podcast has completely
What was this?
disintegrated.
It's about beer? I don't know.
I have no idea what the hell this is about anymore. It's hot in here though.
It's very hot in
I'm
here.
gonna take off my clothes. What is he doing?
In his shoes. I imagine he has like a little flag that he waves.
I'd hope so.
No, I don't see any shoes. What happened? Where are the shoes?
All right.
My God, those are horrible.
See, I'm legit.
You love those shoes, don't you?
Yeah.
They're
When-
so comfortable.
When do you wear
They're
them?
so nice. Huh?
Do you even wear them out?
You ever worn them out of the house, or they just don't touch the ground?
I've worn them 3 times. Once when I was driving the Ferrari around the racetrack.
Of course.
Makes sense.
The second time, actually, the next 2 times were when we were making a long trip down to Illinois to see family.
That makes
These
no
are
sense.
actually really good driving shoes.
All right.
As they should be.
I would hope so.
Yeah. So I'm
Let's
just
take-
holding on. I'm just holding on to this stuff for when I make it big, and I can afford to put a full-scale Ferrari in my garage as opposed to the little 19-inch one that I have in my garage.
What's funny is when we were in college, he would always go to Isringhausen. Is that in Springfield?
In Springfield, yeah.
And it's a Ferrari place. And he would always go, I'm like, why are you going there? And he would just go look at them, sit in them
Mhm.
occasionally.
Occasionally get a ride because I met one of the guys that was sold cars there, and he'd take me for a ride in some of them. And it's funny you remember that.
Shatter, can you go to like Vegas and just like rent one for the weekend or something?
Yeah, you can. It's not really worth it. I mean, the rental Ferraris that are out there they're pretty ragged. And if you're going to spend, $600 a day to rent a car, I want it to
I
be.
bet if you took a blue light to the seats in those Ferraris, it would be disgusting.
Well, you'd probably be disappointed for sure.
Almost worse than the Motel 6. It's got to be gross.
Yeah. Can you imagine all the guys, just their shoes and nothing else? Just
Yeah.
Why you look at me when you say that?
What would be in the
I
bottom?
mean, I
of
would
the
do
shoes?
it. Yeah.
how
that's what
you
I'm saying.
doing?
I'm just saying.
I think we lost Eric. He's just like, I'm out of here.
This podcast was supposed to be about
Went to
beer.
a-
Now we're talking about being
went
naked.
to a
in
weird
Ferrari.
Went
That's what
to
we
a
get on
weird
these
place.
sessions episodes for sure. All right. Well, so we're gonna close this out here, but Jake, what did you think of? You had a full 12 ounces of the Tall Dog Red Ale. I guess we'll call it.
Yeah. I mean, well, I think we need to come up with something besides just red ale.
Okay, just
Did we
fucking.
have
What did it?
An idea.
What did it? Taste
I thought it was good. Good flavor, good color. Definitely tasted caramel. It's hard to say. It's not that strong, but maybe a little bit more than we thought. I would keep
Just
drinking
call
it. I would keep drinking
Call
it.
it call it the Tall Dog Red Dog.
Well, we were thinking about we had we were gonna call it like Tall Dog Frozen Balls because it was so damn cold.
It was cold. Yeah. Because
Red-
all the brews that we've done, we end up naming them after something that happened during the brew.
Usually, there's an accident.
The one we had the burnt skin. That's where I literally
Adam cut his
yeah.
leg.
I scalded.
Burned
I
your leg
scalded
up.
like 3rd-degree burns on my leg.
That was nasty.
Hell, that was hilarious. No, it wasn't. It wasn't there. So I still got the scars to prove that one. Yeah, there's always something that happens, but nothing really happened during this brew. It was just really cold. Really cold.
It wasn't really cold. It was cold. It was chilly. We had the garage door open.
Oh, it was cold when we were bottling.
Well, that's true.
And it was too cold in the basement for the fermentation. So, yeah.
Could we be like Coors Light and call it cold fermented beer?
On taste, though, I give this
I thought it tastes pretty good.
3.5.
Again, I was just
pretty good rating for me.
I was just hoping not to be embarrassed by this, shit tasting beer. So I was happy. I think also though we let it sit for another couple weeks, we could still mature some flavor as well. So
yeah, I
am happy with it. So thanks everybody for joining us, hanging out with us. We just rambled completely about absolutely nothing. I don't know if there's any way to go through this podcast and be like, this podcast was about. I have no idea. We had fun.
It's the Seinfeld of beer podcast.
The Sessions, the Sessions episode 2. Eric, thank you so much for joining us, man. It was great having you on, and I would love to have you back. To do an actual podcast where we could talk beer.
No, please keep me in the loop. This was a great time. Thank you so much for having me.
Jake, thanks for walking across the street.
Yeah, I can tell who you want back and who you don't. I got it.
You can come over here anytime, man.
Screw you guys. I'm going home.
Oh, Jake.
I'm walking across the street and I'm taking my beer with me. I'm coming to your house anyway after this, so. But no, Jake will be back on. I guarantee it, especially when we open that Bourbon County and the CBS. He already said, Chad, he wanted to have some of the CBS.
Chad, you have to even just a little bit. I'll lift the bottle. I mean, I had it and it was amazing. And I thought it was going to be the last time I ever had it. And I'm so excited at another opportunity. Like half chub right now. Like
I can't wait. I can't wait.
I can kind of vouch for half chub. Who's actually rubbing it down now.
It's not even. It doesn't even taste like beer. It's just like in a category of its own. It's the nectar of the gods.
Well, I still can't believe I found a bottle of it. So it's.
What will be great though is that we're going to be trying those on the same weekend that we're trying the Goose Island.
That's not even fair to the Goose Island, which I'm sure is great.
Well, Eric, you've had both, right?
I've had both. I only had CBS on tap as of now. I've not cracked open my bottle yet.
Well, so
you have a bottle.
Yeah, it was funny. So the week after Goose Island releases Bourbon County, which is on Black Friday, Whole Foods gets their release. So I'm waiting in line at a Whole Foods, and the manager that was working that morning comes out and she's like, all right, here are our allotments. Here's what we have for Bourbon County. Oh, by the way, we've got CBS, and the entire crowd just cheered. So I couldn't not pick one up.
How many did they have? Like hundreds?
They had a few cases, but they limit it to one bottle per person.
But like everybody there got one.
Yeah, they sold out.
Wow.
Well, Eric, are you aging it or?
I'll be drinking it this year. I'll probably have it within the next 2 months.
You want to bring it when we do the podcast on February 3rd?
We have our own. What are you talking about?
Well, I'm just saying.
Chad's being a dick right now. Like, I don't want to open ours. Let's open his.
No.
You want to tell me where in the house you keep it?
We'll open them all.
Exactly. Hang on a second.
We'll open them all at the same time. We'll have 1,500 milliliters of it, and then everybody can have some.
That's not a bad idea.
Just a thought. You don't have to. If you're saving it for something, you go ahead and save it. But
no, I like that idea. It's really good.
We could possibly do that. We will keep in touch. Shoot, I was going to say something. Now Chad afflicted me with the yips.
Ripping.
Well, while you're thinking, I will do the same thing that Adam just did, and thank Eric for joining us today, and Jake, you as well.
He did think Jake could.
This was fun. I think the Sessions podcast is just about having fun and drinking beer and talking about whatever shit we want to talk about. So this is a great time. I appreciate you guys being here.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun having other people on, and besides having to entertain each other. It's fun having other people on. So it was really cool. And it was cool actually to have somebody here with me right next to me. This is an experiment in and of itself as to how this would work. And I don't know if you know. I had this originally set up in the basement, and I had this whole, everything was set up. And I called Chad. I'm like, hey, I want to test these real quick. And I was down the other end of the basement, like not from where we are now, but all the way in the other end. But the internet over there was so slow. I'm like, son of a bitch.
Were the acoustics any different down there?
The acoustics were horrible, especially when the furnace turned on.
Yeah, it was
Because the furnace was
constant droning noise in the background.
So then I'm like, it's like an hour to go until we were gonna do this, and I'm like,
I got
to better take it to my office.
Back upstairs.
Yeah, I called Gina. I'm like, come help me carry this shit upstairs. And so then that's when she started cleaning the office too, which I got my office cleaned. That's cool.
Yeah, and like 10 minutes before 2:00, I Marcoed Adam and I said, I haven't heard from you. Are you doing okay? Are we going to do this at 2:00? But you got it done. So
did.
Nice well, boys, thanks for having me. And Adam, it's funny here. We got like our own little radio show going.
I like it. I like doing this. This would be cool. And when Chad comes, Chad may bring his microphone because then we can have all three of us. That'll be a weird.
It's good times. I mean, he had to bring me on when he got like some pro Eric taking pictures and using sniffers and talking about warming up his stout. And I'm like, I like beer and go Bears.
The Coors Light.
So I could have broke me in at a different time, but the setup's great. It's fun doing radio.
Just put you right to the seat of the fire, man. You did good. You handled yourself very well.
This was the only way to do it. Trial by fire, man.
Welcome
to the show, Jakey.
Well, I asked Adam, is there like a plan, an agenda today? He's like, no, we're just gonna. It's just a live one. We're just going.
It's the session. We just sit around and talk beer and watch football. That's it. That's what we do in the session.
Yep.
It's only our second episode.
I like it.
Yeah. But we'll get you back on a real episode where you can rate the beer and talk beer with us.
Compare it to my base beer. I need a reference point.
Your base beer. That's awesome. My base beer. Well, yeah. So thanks everybody for listening and watching on the old YouTube. I see you have 2 people watching right now on YouTube. So thank you very much, Uncle Ron. Thank you so much for putting us on in the barn. We appreciate that as well. I like you, Uncle Ron.
Yeah. Oh, I forgot to tell you. He texted something.
I have an Uncle Ron too, but I don't know where he's at. So
let me see here. Hold on.
Oh, we did need to get like a text.
Okay, I forgot to read this. So if Ron, if you're still listening, so when we were talking, one last note here, as we were talking about how to taste beer and different types of glasses.
Yeah.
His idea was,
just drink it.
Why don't we taste beer out of navels?
Uncle Ron, I would totally agree with that, depending on the navel.
Well, yeah, I mean, if it's a hot chick in a bikini.
I mean, I won't. Jake's navel, absolutely freaking not. There's so much lint in that thing.
Tequila fits well in my navel. Adam.
Yeah. So, he's still listening. I just got 4 thumbs up for this comment.
Yeah. Really.
Hot chicks in bikinis, navels, beer tasting, that all goes hand in hand.
All right. Okay. We'll see if we can.
Tell the wives it's part of the show. Don't worry about what's going on here.
Gina, I need you to put a bikini on, please. Don't worry. It's for the show.
It's for the show. It's for the show, babe.
I keep telling her, get a bikini shot and put that on here. I'll definitely get people watching. So, the game's over. Now we're on basketball. Get out of here. I'm not going to basketball. There we go. But thanks everybody for listening. And of course, you can always find us at beerdedhops.com. And on there, you can get links to the YouTube, Facebook, Twitters, everywhere.
Twitters, and, Instagram, email.
We'll be putting there'll be a new podcast up on Tuesday. And will also be Chad did a review on his own. That's going to be going up next week as well. So
yeah, the first Beerded Hops Chadcast.
Right. Chatter Vision.
I spend just a few minutes reviewing a single beer. It doesn't take long.
Chatter Vision or Cheddar Vision?
Chad Vision.
Nice.
Thank you.
Well, once again, Eric, thanks for joining us. Jake, thanks for joining us. And thanks everybody else. And we're done.
Well, beer, we've had some great times. When I was 17, I drank some very good beer. I drank some very good beer I purchased with a fake ID. My name was Brian McKee. I stayed up listening to Queen when I was 17.